Hello everybody and a warm welcome back to Cockpit Drivers Championship. We're here at round 2 at the Shanghai International Circuit in China, as we're here for CDC Cockpit Drivers Championship. We had our round 1 with 4 drivers in Bahrain, but we're back with more, and hopefully we'll be back with more and better action out here as well, as here we are with about 7 drivers to go racing with and have fun around, as it was Simpish who won round 1 and Commander X who finished in P2, second to Simpish, and Capri finished in P3 with Speeder, who retired out of the race at the very ending moment, so I doubt that he would have got those points to his name. The 3 new in are the Faruqi, and then it is Scooter, followed by Felix. So the 3 drivers you've got newer, the 3 new drivers, and by the looks of it, the very first driver who's probably going to be starting his flying lap will be Commander X, the man who finished second last time out. He finished third on track, but because of a penalty to Reaper, because of a penalty to Gap Reaper, ended up getting him the position, ended up giving him the position that it was. And last week, and unlike last week, it was one-shot qualifying last time around, but it's going to be short qualifying, exactly how it was supposed to be done and how it is planned. And because of the sunlight, the colours look absolutely new, as we're going to be making their way through. So are they going to be Speeder, who's already, Commander's going to run wide and touch the gravel. Their lap is going to be done. That might compromise Speeder as well. Let's have a look at that. Commander just coming around, making around the outside of the turn 2, unable to make that corner, trying to go pretty fast where he shouldn't have been, and that pretty much ends up slowing him down, which ended up really losing him definitely the whole position. Obviously, he's lost out because of it, so he'd be looking to improve, he'd be looking to get better and get newer things on so far. So where will he be getting out there? Faruqi is just going to be starting their lap now. What about Speeder, who's going to be the first driver to possibly complete and put a time on board? It was Commander X who was the first one to start his lap, but he couldn't eventually finish. Speeder has made his way over into the final sector and around the DRS straight he is, which is a long straight as well, nearly not as long as Mexico, but almost gives somewhat of a comparison to that, the main straight at the Mexico City. But there's going to be Speeder in the car around the final corner now, the very first driver, and that was so much track left, so I doubt that's going to be the fastest lap. Sure, 1:37.0. It's going to be, that's going to be a benchmark for everybody to beat, but it'll be interesting to see where he ends up, and rather Commander X is going to be the overline 1:54.2, but obviously that is not a fast lap at all. What about anybody else? Is it going to be Scooter? It is going to be Scooter indeed. It's going to be the next car over the line, just making his way around turn 14 now. Obviously no team game in this one, considering these drivers are racing on the F1 World Cars, so everybody is on their own, and about a driver's championship. And look at that, that's what I was saying. Speeder had so much track left, then over the finish line. Scooter will go fastest, 1:34.0. What about Felix? Can he attack him back again? Felix is far away. Who's it going to be the next car? It is going to be Faruqi. He nearly goes off the track and invalidates his lap over the finish line, 1:36.0. So he was almost 2 seconds down on Scooter as well. But what about Felix now? He's going to be the next car. We've got 4 drivers at the time on board. Obviously, 3 with the representative time. Obviously, the gap is up, but you got to call it a representative, obviously, in this many drivers. As Felix is going to be the next car now. He might be the fastest of them all, and he will be the fastest of them all indeed. 1:33.3, and puts it on pole, does Felix, and gets himself a pole position out there. But only so far. It could be anybody who's going to be beating him. Is it going to be Commander X? Is it going to be Speeder and over the line? he doesn't improve. Rather, Commander might be on the way to improve as he obviously couldn't get a time on board previously. This time around, by the looks of him into the final corner, he will surely will be finding an improvement, but he's not much faster, so definitely he's far down where he was in Bahrain. What about anybody else around? It has to be Gap Reaper somewhere, but he's on an outlap out there at the moment. It might be Felix. Rather, actually, that is Scooter now making his way around the final corner, but he might come into the pit lane. Yes, he will indeed come into the pit lane. Ooh, nearly takes off the runoff area where Lewis Hamilton in 2007 ran off, where there was gravel. Obviously, right now it's all full track and tarmac, but back then it was a gravel trap, so he got trapped in there. What about anybody else? Anyone who's going to be near the finish now? It is going to be Ferrugi, but I doubt he's going to be improving. Rather, obviously, he's going to be on a prep lap now. Is it going to be Felix? Is it going to be two black cars? One of them, rather, it has to be Reaper, and he's going to be just about starting his flying lap. One of them there, it is going to be Felix, and he's going to be going over into the pit lane. Nearly makes contact with the wall there, just coming into the pit lane, so definitely that is something interesting. Obviously, these drivers trying to go competitive, trying to drive competitive, knowing that with 7 drivers, there is always points up for grabs and opportunity up for grabs indeed, because... Okay, then now we should be back. Apologies about that, guys. A little bit of technical difficulties, and by the time we rejoin, the qualifying is almost over. Only a minute and a half is remaining, but hopefully we will get some action, and if we do, we'll be making it an amazing one. Here it is, Felix, who's top of the timing charts so far, 132.981. Gap Reaper 133.5 in P2. It's Scooter in P3, 33.770 from him. Is just going to be starting his flying lap again. Simpish, who won in Bahrain, is 35.0. So far with Ferrugi with 36.0, and he nearly has a spin, and he's going to be rather facing the correct way now, so maybe he was facing the wrong way earlier. Speeder in P2, 36.5, Kamara X 36.2, hasn't been able to improve, and the next car will be improving and on a better time. It is Commander X. By the looks of it, he doesn't have any front wing, so he'll need to be coming into the pits once more unless it's bugged. It is bugged. Yep, it is a bug that we have seen multiple times on F1 at 25. It is to follow once more. Hopefully the stream will be okay for the time being now. It is going to be Simpish over the line. He will not improve. That is interesting. Over 2 seconds downs, unless that was a prep lap for him, and he's only going to be getting it better now. He doesn't have much ERS left, so that means he couldn't find an improvement, and he will not be improving, at least for the moment. Meanwhile, Felix has managed to find an improvement on the previous lap as the car is bugged. They don't pretty much have any front wing damage. The car is bugged as Reaper has managed to take the checkered flag in P2. Anybody else who's going to be over the line? Speeder in P6 is going to be off. He's not going to be coming over to the checkered flag. Ferrugi is going to be going off into the pits as well. What about anybody else? They're going to go over the line, and that will be Scooter. Over the finish line, they go up into P2 and take the checkered flag up onto the front row. They'll be doing that, and the front row will be theirs as they'll take the checkered flag and get it P2, unless Simpish could get them off. Unless Simpish could put a lap in, that'll be sending them off. And no, at the moment, Simpish himself is struggling out there, as that is not a good idea at all, as he's lost it himself. Meanwhile, up at the front, it is going to be somebody who we could have a look at, and they're going to be taking the checkered flag. One is going to be Commander X, who might try and find an improvement. By the looks of it, he will not be doing that. But what about Felix over the finish line? He's going to improve and get even further away from the rest of the field. 132.674. And that's going to be qualifying over. So hopefully somewhat of racing is going to be on, as will be now here. The qualifying session is now over, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully the stream and everything will be okay, up and running about now, as now it is. Felix on pole with Scooter in P2, followed by Reaper in P3. Simpish in P4, comes then Faruqi in P5, followed by Speeder in P6. Then comes Commander X in P7. And that's a great bug of F125, as we have to say great, because in play of humor, as obviously it's not great, it's everything that I can't say on the on stream, so you could understand. But that's it then, ladies and gentlemen. Qualifying is over here at China. It is going to be Felix on pole, followed by Scooter in P2 of a 5:10, so that's a mega lap from Felix, with Reaper in P2, 133.5 from them, 35.0 from Simpish in P4, with Faruqi in P5, with Speeder and Commander X completing the 7-car grid in P6 and 7. That'll be the guys now over the line, and hopefully we'll be starting in a couple of minutes as at the moment, we're in fact getting ready, so hopefully we'll be actually ready as soon as possible, and even into the race. We'll be on it in no time. So by the looks of it so far, this looks okay, smooth and fun, as drivers will be now getting ready. The teams will be getting their cars, and drivers getting themselves ready to go racing. And as soon as that is done, we'll be in for racing. We'll be in to have some great fun. It's going to be double the laps from last week. Obviously different track, but still laps previously was a lot, and this time it is going to be not much. It was going to be 28 laps. Last time out it was 14 laps in Bahrain, and this time it is gonna be about 28 laps here at China, and we're about to get started. The lights are about to go green, and we're about to go racing here at the Chinese Grand Prix. 5 lights, and we go racing here at China. It's a decent start for Felix, a decent start for Scooter as well. Cap Reaper's not going to go off the line great at all, as Faruqi's going to be taking up his place, and up into turn 1. Speeder's going to be making contact, but making progress as well, as Commander X and Faruqi are losing position. Simpish nearly goes into the wall by making contact with one of those drivers there. The drivers have gotten started, and already off we go, and off we go racing here at China. It is Felix, a pole sitter, who's got a start, who's got a brilliant start and got it nice and easy. Meanwhile at the back, it is going to be Reaper. Rather, it was going to be Faruqi, who on his own has lost out the car and lost it on his own, will not be having it easy at all, as that, ladies and gentlemen, now will be on our way, as definitely our race leader is about 7/10 to the next car, and everybody's starting on a set of hard compound tyres, apart from our race leader, who starts on a set of hards. Meanwhile, Commander X going to go for it on the inside. Meanwhile, one of the drivers is ghosted, and has to be Reaper. Ooh, yep, Reaper has been ghosted out at the front, as it's just going to be Speeder who's going to be a bit of pressure from Reaper. Reaper's going to be side by side. Both of them are going to be racing wheel to wheel. Who's going to be coming up further? Is it going to be Reaper? Is it going to be Speeder? By the looks of it, Reaper has already got past him and has made the overtake done. But Speeder will come back, and him all going for it on the inside line. He'll send it there. Will they both be able to stay and not make contact? Maybe not. There'll still be wheel to wheel. Who's going to be coming out better into the final corner? It will have to be Reaper. He'll get the job done, or has he done the job done though? Because Speeder's going to come back at him. Reaper ran absolutely wide, and that'll allow for Reaper to come back and make the move about now, and he will make the move as Reaper's back into the into 4th place, and again he's going to come back at him. Speeder is into 4th place, and now Reaper is into, and Speeder is going to make contact, and half of his front wing is missing, as both of them have just came together within 2 laps, and on lap 2 out of 28. Pretty early to come together, but They've done it. They have found a time and they have found a way to crash with each other. Obviously not the way they would have wanted to go, but possibly they'll need to come into the pits now as, oh no, in fact I would have thought Speeder's wing is damaged, but only M plate is damaged, so it might not be enough, sufficient enough for him to need it to be pitting as Ferrucchi. He's going to go send it on the inside line as if that is Ferrucchi, but apologies about that. If I'm pronouncing your name wrong, you could let me know. But for the moment, I'm going to keep it that way. So you got to bear in with me as now our race leader 1.2 seconds to Scooter so far. So it'll be interesting to see whether these drivers go a one-stop or a two-stop strategy, depending. They will need to do over 10 laps and... Ooh, everybody did ready up, and eventually we probably started earlier than we should have. By the looks of it, as the gap was needed. Meanwhile, Speeder is right behind Ferrucchi now. Ferrucchi runs wide. Speeder's going to go for it on the inside line into 10-14 on the exit of it. Both of them on the same compounded tire, and it will be Speeder. He gets the better exit, and he gets the job done. Into P6, they will be about now as Ferrucchi may get a chance, and once again Speeder is going to run wide, and the opportunity will be to Ferrucchi, and get the job will be done for him. Three laps in, and definitely we're seeing somewhat action, at least probably within 3 laps. We did see some action even at Bahrain, but depending on the long term, how much we're going to be seeing, obviously only 4 in that race, a lot more drivers now, as the gaps have been forming up between drivers by now, so 3 laps in, definitely the top 2, within 2.2 seconds of each other. Scooter in P2, Felix in P1. Felix starting on a different tyre, so for the second stint he will be on that hard compound tyre, possibly. Obviously you need to use 2 sets of compound tyres in track conditions. Meanwhile, Ferrucchi is going to run off, and he's going to be facing the wrong way, as by the time he's joining his spin round and get back on where he needs to be. With Speeder will take the place as Ferrucchi runs a little bit wide. Goes even a little bit wide by the looks of it, but now he's going to drop down. He has dropped down indeed over into P7 as over 7.1 seconds. Now Speeder has managed to gain over Ferrucchi, and maybe Speeder's got some free air in front of him. Possible chances for him to move forward, for him to get closer to maybe, let's just, if not, maybe he just can get closer to Reaper, who's about 4.6 seconds up ahead on the track of him. Reaper in P5, who's over 5.6 seconds behind Simpish, who's 2.8 behind Commander, who's over 11 seconds behind Scooter, as the 2 race leaders are 2.6 separated by 2.6 seconds, and that gap has been over 2.1, 2.6, and now that comes 2.5, so it'll be interesting to see whether Felix, you know, if he's going to increase the gap, if that gap's going to go over 3 seconds, 3.5, or will it stay there? That is an interesting thing to see, and definitely will now only shape up, because we're 4 laps in, we're 3 laps in, and 4th one is going on about right now, so that's gonna be on our way, as definitely he's on a different tire than everybody else. Also, no safety cars so far. Obviously, China is a you know, a wider track, and obviously a circuit, obviously a racing circuit. So a lot of breathing room, let's say, than a street circuit. Obviously, just like Bahrain, a lot of runoff areas involves far away from the rest of the tracks, as Simpish is going to be over 1.8 seconds about now. From the next car, as the gap is now getting less and less, as it is tumbling down 1.1 seconds, as that is now over 1 second between the two, as about 1.1 seconds, but that might be getting less and less at this point. between these drivers. So it could be interesting between Commander X and Simpish. We could see these two fight. Around on the track. We saw him a little bit around Bahrain. Can they do it around here as well? It'll be interesting to have a look at and see whether they'll be able to do it or not. Whether they'll be able to make the move count or not. Meanwhile, we just switch up to Reaper randomly as he's back out on track. For a moment, we'd have thought he's off, and off he goes. Meanwhile, Simpish might have an opportunity to make the move about now, but I don't think he'll be doing that. Rather, it is the best way to make a move around there, because you know that it is not a possible way to make a move around there, because of obviously considering that DRS would have been available around here. Meanwhile, the top two getting closer to one another. 1.9 seconds between those guys. Simpish could well be on the way into the referee making a move before the braking zone. He won't be able to do that, or does he want to go for it? And nearly taps Commander X wide, but he has to back out a little to allow him some breathing space. Obviously tapped into the back of him. I wonder if he himself has got some damage. He eventually has not got some damage out here, so let's see what is going to be happening between these drivers. Meanwhile, Simpish and Commander X are all in again, once again within each other. Simpish is right behind. A little bit of a mistake there from Commander. He runs a little bit wide for a moment. You'd have thought has a little bit of a moment as eventually these guys are legging, so not sure what's going on out here, but hopefully there will be somewhat action between these drivers, as Simpish is all the way nice and easy. He's making his way around, as by the looks of it, Simpish might have lost out a bit of time to Rex. Now, obviously he went in, and definitely he had to be a little bit patient around where he couldn't be, and definitely that resulted in him losing a bit of time. The gap is within 1 second once more, so that is interesting, and will be interesting to see. Wide goes Simpish. That's going to help Rex gain time, but that'll also help Reaper gain time, who is only 1.6 seconds behind Simpish now. So that is all going to be happening here, as it is all will shape up. The racing action is going to be about to turn fantastic, and definitely these guys I don't think we'll be pitting anytime soon, because unless they're on a medium set of tyre, possibly even if they wanted, they could have pitted around lap 10, but they will not be doing that on the hard tyre. At least 12 laps to 15 laps, a minimum you could do, and if they are to go for a one stop, I'd assume that they'd go over 16 or 17 laps on the hard tyre. And right, it says reconnected, but let's see if it actually is reconnected, and if it does indeed work a little bit better, we might be able to do another thing to connect another internet, and by the looks of it, it isn't really liking it so far. It might be getting a bit better. It looks like it's getting better, but definitely will be interesting to see whether it has getting better or not. Apologies about that. Just having a bit of issues, as speed on my end here, on the one I'm trying to switch to, shows pretty much quite a lot. Alright then, so interesting, it shows disconnected. Not sure when it disconnected or from when we have been disconnected, so I'll stay here on this one for now, and if it does now get disconnected, we'll maybe have a look at this and really get you going, as there's going to be an opportunity. Reaper might have made a mistake, and that might just allow Simpish to get past, or rather Reaper has got some mega speed here, as he's got past one car. He looks to be on his way to get past another car by the looks of it. It'll be all interesting to see what he can do and what really he can do, but then what about those behind him? The opportunity will be on the way, and definitely the opportunity of getting ahead of Reaper will be on Simpish's way as well. Simpish is going to be over it on the inside line. Rather has to back out in no time, knowing it could be getting worse, as unfortunately there is some issues because of lag and stuff. But still we're seeing action though. We're still getting some action out there, so Speeder is down in P6, Faruqi in P7. Faruqi in P7 with Reaper runs a little bit wide. That might allow no. That will, in fact, not allow him at all. There's 1.1 seconds between Reaper and Commander Rex. Meanwhile, 4 tenths only between Simpish and Reaper there. Simpish goes a little bit wide. The DRS will be open on both the cars. That rear wing will definitely help Reaper stay ahead of Simpish and keep it on to himself as Reaper is in P4. Ooh, that's going to be an interesting choice to see. Meanwhile, indeed, Reaper is still in P4. His P3 could be coming on the way, but he's got to deal with both the drivers. On one end, he needs to make sure to get away and make an overtake, but on the other, he needs to defend. And if he does not make the move calculated, he might end up losing position and losing that position. And in that, he'll not lose that position that he's He'll not only lose the position that he's going for, but also lose the one that he is currently in. So he'll possibly be outside the top 4, top 3, and into P5. So he needs to calculate it. I'm sure he's going to be trying to do that. Meanwhile, for a moment, it looked like Simpish was heading towards the wall. Rather, he isn't. Meanwhile, our race leader and our top 2 are also just within 1 second of each other. 1 second between the two, and it's only coming down. And definitely, that medium compound tire Felix started on is going to be dropping down now. It is going to be coming down. So those 8 laps, 9 laps, and 10 laps on those hard tires maximum. Meanwhile, Rex and Reaper are going to be fighting each other off. Reaper goes for it on the inside line, pushes him a little bit wide. Both of them are going to be wide. Will that allow Simpish to get past? Meanwhile, Commander Rex has to back out of it, and he's slowed down, and that will allow Simpish to get past him, and the overtake will be done. Meanwhile, Reaper has managed to make the move, and up into P3. He's into the podium places, and he gets the job done again. Right then, 10 laps in out of 28 laps, 10 out of 28 here by the looks of it. Scott still 1.2 seconds between the top 2. Meanwhile, Reaper has managed to make a move, so that's gonna be job done and chapter closed so far by the looks of it. There is got drivers closer to each other, but definitely they are not racing one another, as Faruqi's been P7 with Speeder in P6 on his own, so he might have made a mistake here, but he's continuing on with Simpish in P5, followed by Commander X in P4 and Reaper in P3. Scooter is in P2 with Felix in P1. 1-2 between the two. Interesting fight. The fight between these two could be coming up soon. We could be seeing these guys fight. Simpish is now into the pits. Only 9 laps on those hard compound tires as our first driver is in. Excuse me, apologies about that. Sorry, as we're now in, and hopefully we will be we'll be beginning about now as. Case now, Commander X is in also on a set of medium compound tyres, so that'll definitely mean that we're in for a set of hard compound tyre a set of mediums on lap 12, so definitely that'll mean about a one-stop strategy here, but what do the medium dry runners do now? Because by the looks of Felix, he definitely looks on to be going to do a one-stop here, because even those who have pitted for a set of medium tyres now on lap 12, let's say, and even if they do 10 laps on this one, they'll be 22 laps on the hard tyre, but then there won't be much they can do, as Felix is now into the pits after doing about 12 laps on this set of medium compound tyres, so that is now in, and they'll need to do about the remaining 16 laps on these set of hard compound tyres, but would they be able to do it? Definitely they will have to do it unless they pit again around lap 20, because unless there won't be much, left. There won't be much time left, even for those who pit on lap 20, or, maximum they could do that. Otherwise, if they go a little bit longer, they will need to possibly continue on of where they are, because, you know that there isn't a lot now remaining in the race, and either you continue or you're probably going to lose a lot of time if you pit. And well, Reaper is also in now after completing 12 laps on those hard compound tyres. So I would assume possibly 8 laps would be all on those medium compound tyres. Possibly around lap 20 or lap 21 that these guys will be pitting about now. So let's see what exactly will be happening now, as Commander X will just come out of the pit lane, and he'll come out ahead of Commander X, rather, or let's just say that Commander X pitted earlier on, a lap early, and Reaper has came out 9/10 behind Commander X at this point, and that means Commander X's undercut has worked, and it has managed to work for Commander X there, but for how long will that be the case, as we are about to find out here, because you know that these guys are going to be now on, and Reaper, who did have the 3rd place before the pit stops, will need to take that. He will want to take that, and he'll definitely be looking to make it work so far. About here, that 14 out of 28 Reaper, for a moment you'd have thought he's going to be going for it, but rather he will not be going for it about now. So let's see what is exactly going to be happening between these drivers for the moment, as that's going to be Reaper now, 9/10 again, right behind Commander X. So definitely, he just came out on the out lap, so definitely his tires would not be as much in temperature as the car ahead, but he nearly goes into the back of him there, as it breaks up, locks up slightly, loses the rear, has a little bit of a slide, almost a spin, but just about actually does enough to gain control and get it back, because had he not gained control, he could have lost a bit of more time, and still within 1 second, I think, with such a mistake, he has to be lucky, because you certainly lose a lot of time if you keep making those mistakes, and if you do make those mistakes quite often. So definitely that's going to be an opportunity for him to try again, and now 6/10 between the two. The opportunity is flourishing for Reaper to take that 3rd place again. Our race leader is leading with style. Felix has not, or in fact, Felix is pitting as so far. In fact, Felix has pitted, but Scooter has not. He's over 20 seconds to the next car. I hope we'll be getting the reconnection, as indeed we have got the reconnection, so hopefully we'll be back, and I'm hoping that Stream will be up and running back again. Apologies about that. We're having a couple of technical difficulties, but we're jumping back in as quick as we can to bring you all this fantastic action. As now Scooter is into the pits. Meanwhile, Scooter, Reaper and Commander X are actually not much of a fight here. Not quite sure what happened, or by the looks of it, might have made a mistake, and he has made a huge mistake. That has not only allowed him to lose time to Commander X, but now only 2.3 seconds separating Simpish and Gap Reaper now. So that is interesting to see, and definitely the help Scooter will get. Sure, it's about 5.8 seconds, almost 6 seconds behind Felix now, but if he is to continue on like that, and, if he has got some tire deficit, and definitely medium tire versus hard tire will be coming into play. But to Scooter's disadvantage, those tires are possibly going to be having the grip of as much as they should by about 7 or 8 laps. So, possibly he's just coming in. So lap 17, you'd hope that he actually should be able to complete it and finish this race by on these medium tires. So unless he's opting for the second place, which he can easily do so, as the next car behind is over 44 seconds behind him, but 5.2 seconds between Scooter and Scooter and Felix now. That means Felix is now losing time, and Scooter is gaining definitely on that medium, on a brand new set of medium compound tire. Meanwhile, Reaper is 3 seconds to the car ahead and 1.6 seconds to car behind. Meanwhile, Speeder, Simpish is going to be losing the car, and now Simpish has lost the car, so that will at least won't be doing any good to him, but that will be doing good to Reaper, as he'll definitely relax a little bit, knowing that he hasn't got a car who's going to be right on his tail in a couple of moments. Unless he himself makes a mistake, that could be the case, but otherwise, that will not certainly be the case here. Speeder is in P6 on his own. Meanwhile, Faruqi is into the pits. What about penalties? 3 seconds to Reaper, Speeder, and that's eventually it. That's eventually it so far. Meanwhile, Simpish is now in the pits because of that mistake, as Faruqi is now out, as he's put in a set of medium compound tires, which should definitely see them go to the end of this race. Meanwhile, Simpish is getting a front wing replacement, so a possible, as Speeder is far away, so definitely a possible P5 finish he's going to be taken, and Reaper's gained time. So that is interesting to see that after a huge mistake, Reaper has managed to just enough gain time again on Commander X. 1.4 seconds between the two, and Scooter is definitely gaining time here as 4.1 seconds. Now between these drivers, there's 10 laps now remain, 4.5 seconds between them, as the gap is only getting less and less. Gap is only coming down lap after lap and in time after time. So it is all about what is all going to be happening here. Is there any fight between drivers? Rather, actually, there isn't. I would have thought that there is, but possibly he was getting lapped from the car in front, and that was Reaper, who is now also only 1.1 seconds to the car ahead. So that is interesting now by the looks of it, as brilliance after his mistake continues on. Meanwhile, Scooter is gaining time as well. Definitely he's making the most of that medium compound tire. So is Reaper, making of all of his medium tire. In his case, though, the car ahead does have the same compound tire. Only one lap separating the two. So that isn't actually much to say in terms of tire deficit. So it's all pure pace between these drivers about now. and an opportunity anytime for Reaper to make the move. He'll be taking it. He'll be taking it with both hands and will be on his way to do it, as he will be on the way. Five tenths between the two. The DRS will be enabled on Reaper's car. He'll be trying to take that opportunity with both hands. Can he will he be able to do that? 4 tenths only between the two, heading towards turn 14. He needs to calculate it pretty nicely. Goes for it on the inside line. He goes a little bit wide, and both of them will run absolutely wide and go off the runoff area. And Rex is almost facing towards the wall. He nearly made contact with the wall there. Both of them ran wide, and now coming out, it'll be Reaper up ahead of Commander Rex, and the move will be done eventually. I mean, you have to say that, sure, he pushed him wide, but both of them eventually went wide because Reaper almost, outbraked himself, but he followed him. Commander Rex followed him. They were pretty much side by side, and he did not want to brake earlier than him, so definitely that would have resulted in both of them running absolutely wide and would have allowed the move to be done. So Reaper now into P2 with Scooter. 2.3 seconds to a race leader. 2.3 seconds to the next car. As our race leader will now just jump into lap 20. As now 9 laps to the end of the Grand Prix. It is all to play for here. Will they all be able to do it on their tires, or they'll be coming into the pits to get themselves a set of brand new compound tire here, which possibly would rather mean they'll be on the way to put a set of tires in, as they'll be on their way. Lap 20 out of 28, as these guys will be on their way to look on what they will be able to do. So possibly in this race now, Felix, 2.1 seconds. On the 7-lap old harder tyres, I'd expect him to go to the end. It is interesting, and it's definitely on him whether how many laps he can do on that hard tyre, but considering he did over 12, about 12 on that medium tyre, I'd expect him to go over the line on that hard compound tyre. And as far as Scooter is concerned, I'd expect him to go to the end on those medium tyres as well. Definitely, he might feel less a grip, but I think that's his possible best opportunity, staying out on track, because if he pits now, he's going to lose out a lot of time on Felix. All of that he's gained about now. So definitely 1.9 seconds between the two, and anytime Scooter now has the opportunity, he'll absolutely be grabbing that with both hands, and definitely, I'm sure, he'll be giving it all to take the lead and win the race from the hands of Felix. Now, lap 21 out of 28, so interesting to see here. So a couple of drivers are now coming in, and that is Commander is one of them. So, exactly as I said, lap 20, lap 21 is possibly going to be the chance, and the best probable chance for him. Anybody to pit who is, eventually looking to pit. So those who are not looking to pit, anybody, if they want to pit, they'll have to do it now. Because in Felix's case, unless he pits, I don't think Scooter will be looking to pit or having thinking about pitting anytime soon at all. Because you know that he's not thinking about rather pit stops or anything right now. He'd possibly be thinking about 1.5 seconds, 1.4 seconds to the next car, and how can I gain that? And Commander X here has pitted for a set of soft compound tires, which is an interesting choice to say the least. Out here, meanwhile, 1.4 seconds between the two now, and Scooter will be getting closer there, and he might have just gotten closer to him, because now this is interesting. 1.2 seconds between the top two. It could all play for here between the two, as there's a lapped car in between of Speeder, who would want to get out of the way, and he needs to get out of the way. He definitely would be ghosted to make it better. Meanwhile, Felix has made a mistake. Felix has slightly made a mistake, and that might just allow Scooter to have the opportunity in the next DRS zone here. That's now going to be some great stuff about to happen very soon at this point in time, because you know that the top two are within 1 second of each other, and the DRS will be enabled. Hello, hello. Okay, there is, and I'm hoping there should be somewhat sound on the stream. Right then, interesting to see. I think there should have been some, obviously, sound, as I hope there is. Meanwhile, there's going to be Scooter and Felix going to be all be side by side, both of them trying to make a move. Scooter will be on his way to try and grab the opportunity to have a good, and definitely, okay, that's great. It is good as... If it was my sound, I probably wasn't talking, but if it was a game sound, maybe wasn't picking up earlier on, and definitely was, because my game audio was a lot less than myself. I did it on purpose, but obviously, as more audio was requested, we'll put it on there, as the opportunity between these two once again will be on the way, and any time now we're going to be doing that, as something has happened. Obviously nothing, as we'll grab it up once more, as it is all to play for here. Lap 23 out of 28. We're going to be coming to the end of it very soon. Slow and steady now. 5/10 between the two once more, as no, another opportunity for Scooter, but I doubt if he's going to be going for it about here now. I don't think he'll be able to make the move, and rather he has to back out of it to just make enough space and not really ruin it for himself, and because he knows that he's got the opportunity. Into lap 24 we'll go, and because one wrong move and all the hard work, all the performance and speed you used to get here will be lost out. So definitely he doesn't want to use it early, he doesn't want to make it or waste it about here. 3/10 between the two once more. 8 lap old medium tires versus 11 lap old hard tires. And definitely those medium tires are going to be about to run out of grip. Next grip they'll have would be till lap 10. Otherwise, after that, he'll be feeling pretty not pretty at all. He'll be feeling pretty hard in terms of speed and grip, at least tire grip and traction, which will be getting less and less on his tires with every moving lap, with every passing mile on the track. His tires would be running out of grip, so he needs to make sure and make it work. But when he has all the speed that is needed, and 8/10 now, that is looking like gain time for Felix's, unless Felix is harvesting and slowing down in terms of, just slow down, okay, and as we'll be on the way, to wait a little and possibly wait for the opportunity. One man who had the opportunities couldn't take them, at least for the moment. We might get another opportunity here as Scooter 8/10 between the two once more, and he's far away from behind, as definitely he's going to be trying to make the most of it. He's going to try and gain progress, but not a lot of progress will be made so far. As now that is gaining, and definitely as I was saying, those medium tires will not have grip no more, and he's going to be running out of it unless he pulls it out back again. As again that was over 1.2 seconds, but now he's coming back. Maybe he was charging the battery. By the looks of it, he hasn't got much battery as well, so he's got decent battery, but definitely not full charged. So possibly he was just maybe indeed was charging a little bit to help himself attack the best now. And I think this time will be his opportunity. Ooh, 3.5 tenths between the two once more, and a possible way and possible opportunity for him to make the move will be on the way. Well, no, that will not be him making a move or able to make a move just about so far. Will he be able to do that now? This is his probable most realistic opportunity here. 5 tenths between the top two as they will all be on their way to make a move. The DRS will be open on his car. Meanwhile, the lapped car will be there in between. He'll be ghosted, but definitely that is going to be slight bit of distraction as our race leader locks up a little. That might allow Scooter to come at him, and we have the opportunity here. Both of them will be in immense pressure here, because you know that Scooter is trying to take his position, but so is Felix trying to defend. It's all happening here, and it's all coming down to the time of who takes it. Lap 26 out of 28. So we're possibly coming to the end of this lap as lap 27 and 28, the remaining 2 laps after this one would be super fun to watch between these two. And let me tell you from personal experience, those tires on Scooter's cars are not going to be in very good condition. So anything he does right now, and if he does right now make a move, that will be biblical. That will be somewhat amazing. I think, sure, obviously, if he makes any time from this at this part of the race to makes a move, will be fantastic. But in such a situation, definitely now Felix's tires would be feeling old as well. 13 laps on the hards, but definitely as tires get old, definitely you'd want to be on the hard tire rather than the medium compound tire. Other people in this race says the Reaper looks like he might have made a mistake on the exit in P3, Simpish in P4, but they're right behind the leaders here. Meanwhile, Commander X in P5 with for Ferruki and P6, Speeder in P7. Meanwhile, once more the top two nearly goes into the back of Felix. Does Scooter, and he's going to lose time, and that is the reason that he runs a little bit deep and eventually has to lose a little bit of a time. So lap 27 out of 28 now. The top two still within 1 second of each other. And I think either Scooter can't make a move right now. And if he does, then definitely he's saving himself. Because, he knows that if he's going to make the move, possibly he's going to lose, they're going to go side by side. There's going to be action. Sure, it's like he wants to make the move, but he wants to time it perfect, because in such a situation, you have to time it absolutely perfect, because even if he doesn't move right now on lap 27, there's a way that, he'd be overtaken again on lap 28. So the best opportunity for eventually him is to rather do it on the final lap when he knows that, all right, then we're disconnected again. Or maybe we aren't. What exactly is happening here? Not sure. As we're going to be hoping it's going to be back to its originals, as by the looks of it, we'd be hoping so. As definitely we haven't got we got a bit of problems, but I'm hoping that we'll at least be able to end the race in a nice manner, end the race in a nice way, and a place where it's working effortlessly. So lap 27 out of 28 as we are about to head into the final corner. about that as we just did reconnect. A huge moment in the Grand Prix. Felix has made a mistake and pressure has caught up to him. All the time we talk about the tire grip on Scooter's car. Felix has bottled it and he's going to be losing that one as he's still going to be in P2. But it will be Scooter who stood behind him till 28 laps, and he takes it on lap 28 as he'll win, as he wins in Shanghai, takes the Chinese Grand Prix victory. Felix in P2. As Reaper in P3 now, about to make his way far away from the checkered flag, and apologies about that. We just missed out what exactly happened there between those guys, but it is all coming down an end as just before the second DRS zone on the exit, Felix lost it and spun round. That allows Scooter to get through and take the overtake. Felix will have to come in P2 with the Reaper. Definitely that tire deficit. He made it work. Meanwhile, Reaper is in P3. Simpish in P4 with Commander X in P5 along with Ferrucchi and Speeder. Everybody is taking the checkered flag apart from Cap Reaper. And now the only driver who hasn't taken the checkered flag, but it is all to here happening here as the man who stood right behind the leader for multiple laps, and he takes it all as brilliantly done, as job well done to our race winner and to a podium sitters as well. Cap Reaper takes P2, P3 with Felix in P2, and Scooter wins and takes the victory in P1. Apologies about those technical issues we had. Hopefully next week we would be okay. I had some Wi-Fi issues over my end over the week, but look at this then. Scooter wins and with the fastest lap takes it over ahead of Felix in P2 with Reaper in P3, followed by Simpish in P4. Then comes Commander X in P5 for Rookie in P6 and Speeder in P7. Brilliantly done. The opportunity has been taken, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be it. Not sure how many streams we've had tonight. I'm hoping that it won't be much, and won't be much harder to watch all this race, and hopefully it'll be fun for all of you to catch back on and look at this one. I gotta head out, gotta be in a bit of a hurry, so that's gonna be myself, Zabi, and from all of us here at Cockpit Drivers Championship, we're out. Peace. Thank you.